we talk about the financial secrets of the wealthy elite. Now, I know that sounds a little bit dark and sinister, but the reality is that there are some techniques and some methods that people that were born with a lot of money, that have always had a lot of money, that they do to get those resources making more money for them. And because we have some mechanisms to get your savings to multiply quickly, then we can also share with you some of those wealthy elite strategies, because very soon you're also going to have the larger bank accounts that you can get money working for you. So it's important you know you can access university anywhere. You use your phone, you use your tablet, you use your laptop, it really doesn't matter. And it's meant to be very simple and straightforward. So remember, we said we were going to talk about 3 tools. That was tool number 1. Tool number 2 is our universal signal. Remember, I said I have no interest in learning how to trade, so this is my signal. So this is simple. When it says simple enough for anyone to use, I'm the anyone. And what's really neat about this is that there is literally no experience required. And most importantly, at the beginning of this presentation, we talk about how critically important it is to protect your assets and then grow your assets. And that really is at the cornerstone of what it is that we're trying to accomplish. If any of you have ever been involved in a cryptocurrency program in the past, what separates us from everything else is you do not send us your Bitcoin. We don't want it. We're going to teach you how to take care of it. We're going to teach you how to grow it, but you're always going to be in control. Only you have the passwords. And more than that, when you grow it, we don't make money from you growing it, because that would be illegal. If we teach you how to make more money with your Bitcoin and we're getting a profit, that would mean we would need a securities license. So we keep everything legal so that if you are happy in this environment, you're going to be able to continue to make money with us for years and years and years. So this is what we call a long-term trend trading signal. Only 1 per month, sometimes even less. And this is one of the reasons I like it. All that I do, I grab my phone. In 1 minute a day, I check and see if the signal is the same. If it's the same, I do nothing. And I just do that 1 minute a day, day after day after day. The odd day where it changes and I see all of a sudden it's changed, I go into my Unifii account and I make a change. Okay, I go, if my Bitcoin is in like a wallet, just a simple wallet on my phone, I make a change. Or if I'm using an exchange, and it really doesn't matter, Prosperity U teaches you the advantages of a wallet versus an exchange, and you decide what you're most comfortable with. Let me just tell you this, if this is all new to you, this is no more complex than online banking. So if you have already transitioned to using your banking services online, you can handle this very easily. Okay, and the last thing is this. Because a signal only comes once every month or once every 2 months, because it's long-term trend, even if you check your phone and the signal is 3 or 4 hours old, it doesn't matter, because it's not for a couple of months till the next signal change is going to happen. So you don't need to be held to a specific schedule. So if you have a strange working hours or if you're on vacation, you don't have to feel like you're being handcuffed by your money-making product. All right, so let's show you some really quick results. Now, from July 2017 to September, so a little bit more than a year, the universal signal only generated 7 trades. That's it. Over the whole year, only 7 trades. The winning percentage was around 85%, but this is what's really interesting. Now, the starting value for your BTC is only hypothetical. You do not need to start with $5,000. You can start with $500 if you want to. In this example, using $5,000, that grew to $34,000. Your fees, because you're buying and you're selling, you're trading to, if you, let's say for example, you live, we mentioned New Zealand. So there's an app one could use to move their Bitcoin from New Zealand dollars to Bitcoin, to New Zealand dollars to Bitcoin. That's it. That's all they're doing. But they're paying a small fee each time they do it. So because you only did that 7 times, your fees are quite small, $200. So that was a growth or gain of 595%, which is over 15% per month, which is insane, but that's what happened. Wonderful gains. It was a very good year for Bitcoin. Now, what we want to do is we want to give you an anchor. We want to compare this to buy and hold. If you don't know what buy and hold means, it simply means you bought some and you did nothing. Okay? You just hoped that it would go up in value. And you would have been right. You bought $5,000 worth of BTC. BTC, I'm sorry, is the abbreviation for Bitcoin. It would have turned into $11,000. You would have seen now almost no fees because you only bought once and you sold once. Okay? But look at this, 128% gain. Not bad for buying something and just sitting on it for a year. But if you're willing to go to your phone or your tablet for 1 minute a day, you could have taken that 128% and increased it by about 4 times. Okay? So that's what we teach. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the signal that's more for Mike and Shane because there's more participation involved. It's called advanced, and you can probably guess why it's called advanced, because it's not for me. Okay, so this is for people who really want to squeeze every dollar out of a signal. In other words, I want you to think of it this way. In the universal, all I do is let the signals do their job. In the advanced, we teach people basic trading strategies so they interact with the signal. So a signal's doing something. Imagine, for example, you see a movement, a little ping would go out to your phone and it would say, hey, there's an opportunity for you to take 3% profit. So and you're all in a chat group where you can talk to each other, so you know what's going on. Oh, I'm going to run in there. I'm going to take that 3%. So if you have, let's say, $10,000 that's accumulated in your trading account, a 3% take in 5 minutes is worth doing. So that's the kind of stuff that you'll learn in the advanced signal group. Your signals come more often, between one signal every 1 to 2 days. And like I said before, you're learning as a family, you're learning as a community, and the community is from all over the world. And it's very, very supportive environment in there. So as new people come in, you know, they may ask new questions that some of the existing members were asking 2 months ago. And so it's really wonderful how everyone is supporting everyone to pick this up quite quickly. And I will tell you, these are still considered beginner strategies. So it will not take you long to become comfortable in this environment. You can see in front of the tablet, there's a step-by-step guide. So that's a PDF guide, and that works in partnership with Prosperity U videos. And every single action to either protect your money or make you money is included in that guide. The guide is only 18 pages long in big writing with lots of pictures. So it's not very difficult to actually start to become comfortable with the secrets that are in that guide, and you're never, ever going to be asked to do anything that's not in that guide. So it's very straightforward. Once you get the rhythm, it's very easy to do. And most importantly, what we do is every single week, we have one of our moderators in the group. He'll do what we call a week in review. And so he'll look at all the trades that happened for the week, and he'll do a step-by-step analysis of where you could have made money and where you would have lost money. And he'll show you at the end of the week what the trading results were. So it gives you an opportunity for total transparency. There's nothing that's hidden from you. All the fees that are there, when the signals arrived, if a signal was late, what the price was when you got it, all that information is there for you. And he breaks it down into a really simple way so you can understand what happened. So if you don't make what he made that week, you can go back and watch a 12-minute video and see what he did differently than you. It's a really, really neat tool. So we just started that 3 weeks ago. So our week in review 1 was 11% profit for the week. Week in review number 2 was just a little bit over 15%. And week in review 3, which just was released, was another 11% week. So you can see that when you use these strategies, 37% of 3 weeks is madness. When you consider that Warren Buffett was 24% per annum, year after year after year, and he made a lot of millionaires with 24% per annum. So by implementing some of these strategies on top of the signal as your pathway, it really creates a unique earning opportunity. So what I would like to show you just to wrap up is a couple of things. Advanced signal results. First of all, you'll see a very glaring difference between this and universal. Universal was only 7 trades. This is 228. Now, the other thing is your starting your starting value of BTC. There's your end, just under $40,000. So it was a wonderful gain. Look at your fees, though. Instead of $200, it's $7,000 in fees. And this is why where part of the education comes in. So we're making sure we're helping you pick exchanges where your fee structure is as low as possible so that doesn't dig too far into your profits. But remember, there was over 200 trades compared to 7 trades. So you can see these exchanges make an awful lot of money when there's a lot of people trading on them. But that's still, in spite of all of that, 684% gain, almost 16 or a little over 16% per month, and a very fast comparison to the same data for buy and hold. So what I would like to quickly wrap up by showing you is this. You are always in control of your assets. We never lay a hand on them, and we don't make money from you trading them. That's key, because we cannot be breaking the law if we intend on being here for years and years and years. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is this. It's a financial principle that we interface with to maximize the returns from our product, which is pretty cool, because this principle of compounding, Albert Einstein referred to as the 8th wonder of the world. So you got to know, it's pretty impressive if Albert Einstein is calling it the 8th wonder of the world. And he goes on, Albert Einstein goes on to say, he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. So this is really interesting stuff. I want to show you a tool that we've created for everyone, for all of our members. And this is what we call the Universal Signal Compounding Calculator. And it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's for our universal signal, and it's going to show you the effect compounding will have by being engaged in using this product over a longer period of time. And so this is why it's so critically important that we establish ourselves long-term so that these principles can do their job. So remember, when we were talking about the daily signal, we said 15.45% was our average. Now that's an insane average. Most people would be thrilled with that every year. So I'm knocking this number way down to 8.5% to be more conservative, okay? So I want to show you what can happen using compounding with a starting account as small as $500. This is critical because one of the biggest challenges that we face right now is, believe it or not, in the wealthiest countries in the world, 1 person out of 10 has begun preparing for retirement. 1 person out of 10. That's in working age, 1 person out of 10. It's shockingly low. And what's so alarming is not that they're not thinking about it, is that they don't have the resources to set aside. Because we're seeing continually in the wealthiest countries, costs are going up much faster than wages are rising. And it's really starting to become a challenge for a lot of people. In the United States, we're seeing more and more people live on credit. So they're actually paying today's bills with money they haven't even made from tomorrow, which is scary stuff. So I want to show you this compounding effect of 8.5% over 72 months. I want to get a couple guesses, Mike. I want to just get a couple ballpark guesses. I want someone to tell me what they think $500 over 72 months at 8.5 compounded interest per month is going to turn into. 72 months, what's it going to turn into? Please just fire a couple of guesses into the chat box.
They're stumped.
All right. All right. Well, was someone going to throw a guess out?
Is it 2.5 million?
Oh boy, that would be amazing.
Somebody,
you know what I like?
Somebody else.
I like a lot of people here.
Someone said 50 grand. Someone said 60 grand. Someone said a few million. But I think we have kind of an educated crowd here, John.
We definitely have an educated crowd. And if we were giving out prizes right now, I think Tina would be pretty darn. Between Tina and Tom, I think they'd be scrapping it out in the ring.
To put this in perspective, we just did a call with people who have not been with Unifii, and their closest guess was $7,000.
$7,000.
I mean, I think that really starts to drive. We see people really close 100,000, 170 grand. this is kind of like a big point of what Unifii is doing, because a lot of people are throwing away $500 all the time. People are throwing it away on a shopping spree all the time. They're going on a short little vacation for the weekend. Why is that? Why are people living paycheck to paycheck, blowing little bits of money here and there? Because they don't understand how much money they're blowing, because they don't understand the power of compounding and strategies that can turn that into a lot of money. You guys clearly do. I mean, these guys are really close.
It's wonderful to see. And you know, the sadder news, by the way, Mike, is some people may just be resigned to the fact they're never going to be able to catch up. So why bother trying?
Right, exactly.
That's really sad. So $177,000, this is what I want to show you that's really interesting though. What if you were to only add $100 per month over the 72 months, $100? What would that do to your future value from 177? Look at that. Climbs up to almost $600,000. Now check this out. What if you only added another $200? You just became a millionaire. That's really neat. That's really neat. So it's important for you all to understand that everybody gets their own calculator. It's on your own replicated website. And if you did nothing more than share a little 3-minute video on how to use the calculator properly and send that out to 5 or 6 friends and did nothing else, you'd have a couple of them beating down your door, which is really, really neat, which is why we designed this the way we did, because so many people want to benefit from a compensation model that are normally attached to a project like this. They just don't know how to do it. And they're
You froze up on us there, John.
or to talk to friends. Oh, am I better now?
Yeah, you're there now. I thought for a second there you were a robot. You just got shut off there for a second.
You know, the bummer is the only intelligent stuff I've said so far I said right then.
That's the way it works out sometimes.
It always works out that way. Murphy's Law and smart talk.
But I think what you were saying, I think I picked up through the radio channels something of the likes of, we've got the calculator on the website that you guys can all refer to begin as a conversation starter for people to realize how accessible having a big retirement can be, that it isn't too late, that there is a way, that they can get in control, and that calculator is the beginning conversation. And I just want to make sure something didn't fly over everyone's head. You said you can make a quick video that just shows how to go to the website and how to use the calculator, and just send people to that calculator and get them playing with it so they can start to understand what's possible and available to them.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, by the way. This is not even factoring in any sort of BTC increase. So that would be on top of these values. Yes, you're absolutely right, Mike. So what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is just take 3 more minutes and show you only the first bonus of the referral bonus and how that could be incorporated with this calculator to give someone their starting balance if they don't have any starting balance available to them right now at all.
Perfect.
Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Because we really wanted this to be an every person project. We really didn't want to ostracize anybody. And so to cover all those bases, the first thing we needed to do was to make this affordable, $279 US one time, and then a very small monthly. But next to that, if it was based on someone having to put $20,000 or $30,000 as a starting point, well, we would be excluding so many people that really need a hand. And so we needed to make sure that we didn't do that. So first thing I want to show you is this. The question, of course, on everyone's lips is, could Prosperity U and these strategies from the universal signal, could they actually help me catch up? Because in many cases, it's more catch up than
You froze up on us again, John, if you can hear me.
entertaining this idea of taking what you do need to do. Apologies.
Yeah, John, 1 sec. Yeah, back up about 20 seconds.
No problem. Did you hear when I asked the question?
You just asked the question and then we didn't get the answer.
No trouble. So what I was saying was when you stack the technology and the principles, the compounding, and the tools, the actual mechanism of this universal signal, wonderful things can happen. Okay, so let's dive right into this. Now here obviously is our very easy to get started with starting point. If you're going to do what I'm going to share with you in just a moment, and that is take advantage of a really cool reward bonus called the referral bonus, then you'd pay the extra $29 to position yourself to do so. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about it. All of this includes your first month of all products, and then you have ongoing subscription because all 4 of our products are continually updated on a daily basis, some are on a weekly basis. Okay, so let me dive right into this. We talked about compounding as a financial principle, and we've seen the power of it in the calculator so far. Well, there's another financial principle that we're using in this first referral bonus, and it's the principle of leverage. And so we're going to use exponential growth to leverage your ability, because most people only have a couple of hours a week that they maybe could spare. Everyone's using every hour of every day already. So I want to share with you this bonus. Now, what's interesting about it is you can see that there's 7 generations of depth here. So instead of sharing a platform or a program or a product one time and earning a one-time bonus, which is common within the industry, we decided to give that an opportunity to grow exponentially. So in other words, we needed to make sure that our members had a really legitimate opportunity of hitting larger monthly incomes, which is required within the industry these days. When I was just a kid getting started with my first home-based business, $20,000 per month benchmark was a really, really big deal. And it was what all our friends were striving to do. Today, in the digital era, because it's so much easier to get information out to people, that $20,000, believe it or not, has risen up to $100,000 a month. Anyone who has some significant experience in home-based business, they really want to hit as a target that $100,000 a month. Now, I'm not saying for a second that that needs to be on your goals list, but I just wanted you to understand as a company, we were aware of that, and we knew that we were going to have to pay a great deal because the cost of our product was only $279. So
John, could I just interject that matters to everyone here, even if you only want to make $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, because if they didn't have it built in to incentivize people like me who need to see at least 7 figures before we get excited and work, if they didn't have that, then you wouldn't have people like me and Shane and so many others here who are giving so much of our time and our energy to make sure you succeed. And the whole comp plan, I don't know how deep John's going to go into it, but I just want to really underscore it. I keep trying to get this message out. The comp plan is ingeniously designed to incentivize leaders to work with anybody, no matter how deep you are, to make sure you win if you want to win, whether that's $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. I'm working with people 15 levels down. I'm going to be doing Zoom calls. You're all invited. You know, your group's invited. I just got off the phone with somebody in Nigeria who's on this call, by the way. Hi, Sylvester, who Dakota referred. And I'm going to be working with him to build Nigeria. A lot of you guys don't realize the resources you have to tap into here in terms of that kind of help. You just got to work. You got to be consistent. You can't drop off after 2 months. The comp plan is designed to make sure that you have that kind of support. It's absolutely ingenious. So it matters that it has that built in, even if you don't have the big goal.
I appreciate you adding that. And so the way for us to create that opportunity for people that want big dog cash, that's not a real term, is we needed, as a company, we needed to give 70% back out to the field. So when the money comes in, most of it goes right back out again. And I'll show you exactly how that works in this bonus, because you can see this bonus is generated from the one-time $279, okay? And you'll see how much of that money goes right back out to the market. First thing that is important for you to understand, you can share this with as few or as many people as you like, every person you share it with that joins through your own replicated site on your link will pay you $60. So that's over 20% of that initial sign up amount, $60 of $279. But more than that, when they in turn do the same and recommend to someone and they earn $60, you're going to earn, whether you were involved in the process or not, you'll earn $20. And when that person recommends to one and they earn $60, this is getting further from you, but you continue to earn and continue and continue and continue and continue. So you can start to see where exponential growth and leverage is going to start working for you. Now, if you allow that to work for you, and then you double up again with compounding using one of the signals, you can see how this is a very aggressive fast track to getting you back to, or getting you ultimately to where you want to be. So I want to share a real world scenario with you so that this is not just numbers on a piece of paper, okay? I want you to imagine, and by the way, when we said the 70%, all you need to do is total 60 plus 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 30. That's $190. Every time 279 comes in, $190 goes right out, okay? So I want you to imagine that calculator and just a little 2 or 3 minute video that explains how to use it. And if you were to fire that short explanation and the calculator off to someone, how many people do you think that you would need to send the calculator to before 3 people came back to you and said, this is exactly what I've been looking for. This is what I need to get myself back on track. Now, some of you might say, oh, I could send it to 3 people and right away 3 would be interested. Others may be saying, well, I would probably have to send it to 20 people before I would find 3. And there's no wrong answer and there's no right answer. The common denominator, though, for the example I'm giving you is 3. And I would strongly encourage you to do just that. From your data, it could be from anyone. It could be from the next door neighbor. It could be from the person you see walking their dog in front of your house all the time. We give you, through a series of basic trainings, some wonderful conversation starters that very quickly lead to, hey, listen, I'm going to send you something to play with. I think it would really help you. And that's it.
John, you're referring to your Saturday calls when you say those trainings, right?
That's correct.
Really want to encourage people to plug into those. John has built enormous organizations time and time again globally and can help you very, very easily tap into doing what he's talking about here. So every Saturday he has those calls, and they'll find that where in the back office?
Yeah, the link is on their own site, right on the affiliate page.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. So I show you all the things that I've done wrong, so you can just not do them.
Perfect.
So in this scenario, I want to show you what happens if I was to build out the referral bonus in multiples of 3. So my only job was to select the 3 friends I want to work with. And then I would encourage you, believe it or not, I would actually encourage you to stop there and simply make sure your 3 friends do the same thing you did. Because your time is much better spent making sure a system is internalized and grow rather than you trying to make everything happen yourself. Make sense? It takes less of your time, and by teaching a simple system, you facilitate exponential growth, as opposed to being the one driving the bus all the time and trying to put hundreds of people into a model, and then none of them really know what they're doing. Okay? That's what I want to show you. So look at this exponential growth as this begins to happen. What is alarming is by sharing this with 3 friends, I've created $87,000 for myself. Now, there are 7 generations. Even if this took me 7 months, it took a full month for every single group in there to share with 3 friends. Even if that was the case, that's a pretty wonderful part-time business return. Now, where it becomes extraordinary is when you choose to take some of this and you start using the universal signal with this. So instead of starting at $500, you're using the house's money. You're playing with the casino's money, and you're throwing that into your wallet or your exchange and allowing the signals to do their job on $50,000 versus $500. Now you're all of a sudden having a dramatic shift in your quality of life. And all you've done is invested a few hours a week to share with 3 friends, and allow that to grow exponentially. So this is why understanding these financial principles, when we say things about the secrets of the wealthy elite, we're not being silly. These are real mathematical principles that have worked for billionaires the time and time and time again, but they can work for everyone. They just don't get taught in school. And you don't learn them in university either. What you know what you learn in university, in finance, is dollar cost averaging. How you should keep pumping money into your mutual fund, whether the market's going up or the market's going down. And you know why you're being taught that? Is so that you can keep a liquid market for all the billionaires that know to pull their market out. You're being ripped off left, right, and center. So our job is to teach you how to not make those mistakes and allow yourself to get ahead.
Hear, hear. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. Everyone's been indoctrinated and thinks that that's the safe way to go. In 2008, financial collapse made it very clear that's not the safe way to go.
And every single person that has a financial planner was told to keep paying. Every person.
Incredible.
If you're paying 3%, if your financial advisor is charging you 3%, by the time you get to retirement, 50 to 60% of your money is not your money. It's nuts.
So, I mean, really what's happening here is you've got this giant growing number of people after the 2008 collapse that are waking up, realizing it's not the way they thought it was. The Federal Reserve isn't actually in the United States a federal branch. People are realizing that for the first time. It's all a big marketing spiel to make a few people a lot of money. And you know, and it's our fault. Like, if you're not going to be educated, you're not going to read, you're not going to, you know, it's not like Robert Kiyosaki, people weren't teaching some of these things. But now here's a company that comes along and gives people a strategy to take advantage of a new asset class where there's huge opportunity to get these great returns consistently. So you can come in with very little money and catch up on all the years that you weren't taking advantage of compounding. And if you want to get it going even faster, you can help other people out, help them understand and learn the power of compounding, send them the calculator, help them just understand the concept to get them to start to plug in. And now you've got additional income coming in. We're really teaching people how to take control of their own money, how to take responsibility for growing and protecting their money, giving them the resources to do that. I just can't think of anything to get, you know, anything from a business perspective that I can get more excited about. You got a lot of people looking down a very dark path if they don't change something. I mean,
it's sad.
I just got off the phone with someone yesterday. I can't remember who it was. If you're on the call, I apologize, but I remember the story that their parents had been upper middle class, quite wealthy, but they had trusted their financial advisor. And I don't know if it was the financial collapse in 2008, but for whatever reason, the traditional path made them lose all their money. They don't have a clue what to do. They now live in lower income housing. You know, and I think and he was referring to his parents. That was one of the reasons why he's here with Unifii. He doesn't want to end up like that. People are ready to take control of their own money.
And by the way, just so you know, we're not anti anyone. We don't have a mandate. We're not against the financial establishment.
Right.
Far from it. We simply want to let people know that there are some tweaks that they can make that will make a profound impact on their quality of life for the second half.
Personally, I'm anti, but the company Unifii isn't.
I want to show you one last thing, if you don't mind, and then I will stop talking.
Yeah, and John, I'll be right back. I need to let somebody know I'm going to be a little later. Can you stay for a few minutes to answer questions? I know we got some in the chat box.
Yeah, of course. So this is the front of our site. And Shane, you just let me know if I freeze for some crazy reason. This is the front of our site. And as you scroll down, you'll learn a little bit more about each of the products, what makes them unique. And then when you go to the product page, so that's the Lighthouse page, if you click on the video, we'll be talking about all the things that we were addressing here. The calculator discussion is here. The universal versus the advanced signal data is there, et cetera, and so forth. But then if I scroll down to the bottom, and it says, discover what Unifii can do for you, and I click this teal box, it pulls up the calculator. Now, what's neat about this, you can see how it pulls it up full screen. So if you are having coffee with a friend, you go to your own site, and you scroll to the product page, scroll down, click the calculator, hand your phone to your friend, and it's taking your whole phone. So they can play with it. I want to show you this. This is just, Yeah. This is why I wanted to show you just the first bonus. And I really wanted to try to help you understand that exponential growth, 3 sharing with 3 sharing with 3, not only is possible, it's been done many times before if you keep it simple. And so remember, we said if you took some of that $87,000 you would earn just from that type of a build, and you, let's say, took 50,000 of that instead of $500, I want you to see. Can you see the calculator? Yeah, you can. Of course you can. Look at this total over 72 months. For the amount of time that it would take you to pay for a higher end vehicle, 72 months, you could have accrued $17,779,000. So this stuff is accessible. Even if you chop that monthly return in half, you'd be in half, 4% a month. You'd be well over $1 million. So these things are available too. Okay, Mike, I'll stop sharing and we can happily answer any questions that anyone has.
I was just going to, I think some people look at those numbers like the number you just gave, and I think part of our responsibility, guys, when you're communicating this to friends, there's going to be skepticism with the big numbers, right? It's like we need to ask people, how do you think people got wealthy? Like, like how do you think that happens? That's what this is. And you're using time as leverage to get there. And you're using intelligent strategies, and just instead of just giving your money off to some stranger, again, we're not anti them, but nonetheless, you got to make smart decisions, and we're showing people their options. So if someone's skeptical about numbers when they look at compounding and stuff, you have to ask them, how do you think people who are wealthy got wealthy? And my thing is, I think this is a really important point. We're not here to convince people to choose a certain path. We're just here to let people make a conscious choice. So like for some of you that are hesitant to share with people or whatever, that makes you uncomfortable, I've come to the conclusion that that's a really selfish perspective for me personally, and I've let go of that. You might say, well, sure, Mike, it's because you've been successful. But it's like, I used to think when I make a lot of money that I can't wait to go brag about it to my friends, and then they'll want to join. It doesn't work like that, guys. Like
it doesn't.
People either are open or they're not. It's shit. And I still was hesitant to even talk about Unifii with people that I know. I have started approaching people that I know because I realize who am I to decide, for example, if my sister or somebody else should be wealthy or not, or shouldn't have access to these concepts. I don't care what they decide. I really don't. And you shouldn't either. But it really is a selfish thing to learn a new concept. For me, I understand compounding a little bit logically, but I didn't understand it emotionally. I still was gambling with my money when I invested. This has all overtaken that, and now I understand compounding, in a completely different light. I'm actually able to apply it, and not be overtaken by emotion to get some short-term gain that's too high a risk. I'm following a strategy. Why shouldn't I share that with people and then let them decide? And again, that calculator is perfect. I'll send that. I'll drip that out. People I already approached about this, I'll drip out the calculator. Say, hey, just want to show you what compounding can do. I know my sister she says she doesn't have any money, spends thousands a year going on vacation. I just want to show if you just kind of, pay a little bit less on that vacation, put $500 aside, play with this calculator. Here's a video you can watch on how to play with that calculator. I encourage you guys to really look beyond maybe how you used to look at approaching people, and just do them the service of helping them have the option of choosing if they're going to be broke at the end of the road, or if just give them the option of choosing another way and using these strategies and Unifii to do it. If they choose not to, who cares? I mean,
that's okay.
Their choice.
Maybe they're going to win the lottery.
Yeah, it's not our job to convince them, but let's give them a choice, because I don't think a lot of people understand some of these simple things that could change their life.
It's true. The other thing is there is certainly a demographic, and some of those individuals may be on this call, where there's a genuine fear in reaching out and sharing. And there's also very simple ways to do that as well. And we touch on those on Saturday a lot, but it could be as simple as, hey, listen, can I have 10 minutes of your time when you've got it? If you got it now, that's great. If not, let me know when. And you just have them watch a 10-minute video on your site, the product video, And then you say, when you're done that video, I'm going to send you the calculator they show in that video. I want you to just play for that. You just do that alone. And you do that with 5 or 6 people, and I promise you, you'll have some of them saying, hey, listen, I need this thing. Shana McBader, anything you want to share?
I think we have a lot of questions too, but yeah, Shane, if you want to chime in, let me look through by the way, anyone you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, go ahead and do that. And kind of circling this back around, because I know there's probably questions about the advanced signal, the universal signal, how to communicate that. I mean, I think we're kind of getting to that. You open it up with a calculator, the power of compounding. You open it up with, how the wealthy have made money. And even if a person doesn't want to be wealthy that you're talking to, they should at least want to have a good retirement. We know that everybody wants that. And so if they don't tap into the power of compounding, that's really how you open it up. That's how you communicate it. I should make a sidestep here and say, those of you that are doing the cold market with me, you're like, oh no, Mike's not doing the cold market anymore. Yes, I am. But if we don't integrate simpler strategies for the masses, then we're stupid. We need to integrate simple strategies for everybody else. Not everybody's going to fork out $500 a month or sit around and learn social media strategies or shoot YouTube videos. We don't want to rely on that as the only message to build a business. It's really important to understand that. So yeah, I'm stoked about cold market. I'm going to keep building in the cold market. I'll keep sharing with you guys how to leverage that if you want to learn that skill, but that takes longer to build a list, to build the trust. In the meantime, let's lead people by going out and sharing this with people we care about from a non, salesy sort of way and more in an educational, helpful sort of way. Give them the option. And then we're leading, doing that too. So people who come in who don't want to spend, 2 months learning how to do a YouTube video or don't want to spend $500 a month doing advertising have an option to tap into the rewards program as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, Winifred asks actually, it's less of a question, more of a comment. And I feel your pain. I understand, Winifred, in your circumstance there, I wouldn't reach out to family first. If that's how you feel, I would reach out to, there's people within your sphere of influence that you may not consider close friends and family. And I'll show you on Saturdays, I'll show you a way to reach out to that group. And so you can sort of be test driving the sharing the calculator out with people that you have no emotional connection with either way and are not going to feel strange whether they say yes, no, or maybe so. Secondly, Tina, I'll tell you this, when it comes to the structure of the program, those that are skeptical about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, though that's a really good, I'll answer your question as well in a minute, James. So those are Tina, those are skeptical about Bitcoin. I think when you show them the 10-minute video and we do a little bit of a BTC qualifier in the beginning, remember we introduced these 3 basic concepts. We talk about tools, talk about principles, and talk about strategies. And when we talk about strategies first, because that's part of our purpose statement at Unifii, we specifically, we talk about emerging asset classes. And then we even give an example of CNBC in a recent article saying that Bitcoin actually has a legitimate shot at usurping gold as the default store value. So all of that stuff is in there. It talks about Microsoft, talks about Amazon, talks about MasterCard, all starting to align themselves with Bitcoin and the blockchain.
Wait, where's that? Where's that presentation?
All that stuff is on the recorded video on the product page.
Oh, yeah. Have you guys, I sent that out yesterday. Guys, go to the site, to the product section. What's a new video? Watch that video. A lot of that's in there. Let me just address a couple of things with that, John. And make sure people knew what Tina asked. The biggest skepticism is about crypto BTC. She's saying people are skeptical, and she's excited about Unifii coming out with the money market program. Well, first of all, the money market program was going to come out now. I shouted, no, it's too soon. Because I feel like we need to lay a strong foundation with what we have. It's like a lot of information. I know a lot of you are excited about that. I am too. Don't get me wrong, but we need to launch it at the right time. So it's coming. We're not going to be stuck just in crypto.
It's going to be a monster.
Yeah, it's going to be a monster, and it's awesome. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and trip all over ourselves with doing so much. There's so much going on.
Here's the other thing that's really important, just for you to frame this the easiest way for all of you. I would encourage you to use the simplicity of the low entry price and the calculator and the new video to build up your own team membership, because when you get to 100 or 500 or 1,000 members, and then we launch that money market product around $500, and all of that money from your 1,000 team members goes through the referral bonus again, well, now you just made $500,000.
Exactly.
And so that's really what you want to see happen. And that's why we want to wait until the numbers are bumped up a bit. So when that's released, all of you have a huge payday. And then it's remarkably easy to go to the rest of your database, because you just had that massive win.
One other thing I want to mention, Winifred asked a question about not being comfortable going to people that she knew. Guys, and then John answered, don't just think about the people you're thinking about. Think about everyone you come across all the time. A lot of people come across me every day. A lot of people come across me every single day. No one ever asked me if I'm open to an opportunity. It's kind of interesting. I might be asked in my messenger, but I mean, when I'm at Starbucks or I'm wherever, no one ever asks me. And guess what? I'm always open to opportunity. Now, right now, I'm massively focused, but a couple of months ago, anybody could have gotten me in any decent organization that was involved with Bitcoin, that was meeting all the regulatory compliance. I haven't seen another company like that. Any of you could find someone like me, is my point. Like, we're not that rare. Nobody talks to me about that kind of stuff out in my life. Nobody. And even before I knew what crypto was, here's my point, because Tina had said a lot of people are skeptical about Bitcoin. I kind of was skeptical about Bitcoin, but all you would have had to do is say, something like, well, a lot of people were skeptical about Netflix. A lot of people were skeptical about Tesla. I was one of the first to buy. I bought the first Tesla. I don't know if it's the first, but he signed them, like the first 50. And I was about ready to buy a bunch of stock, but they didn't deliver my Tesla fast enough. My signed copy. I don't know how much that would be worth now. And so I got my money back after about 12 months or something, because you have to pay ahead of time back then. I didn't buy Tesla stock because they took too long to deliver the cars. I could have bought it at $8 a share. I was listening to all the smart people saying it wasn't going to be anything. Netflix, I could have bought that for nothing. For a long time, I was thinking about it, but I kept listening to everyone saying, no, they'll never beat Blockbuster in Hollywood video. Anyone who is skeptical about it, it's like two things I have to say about that. Remind them of the internet, and everyone was saying that nothing was going to ever, Amazon would never beat brick and mortar. That was the message. And then, if that doesn't get them, send them to watch Banking on Bitcoin, the documentary. And if that doesn't get them, of course, forget about it. Wait for the money market product for them. But move on, because people like me may seem skeptical. I was skeptical about Bitcoin. When I saw Banking on Bitcoin documentary, I was not skeptical anymore. So you didn't need to convince me. You wouldn't have needed to convince me. You just needed to have the conversation. Show me the calculator, compounding. I don't believe in Bitcoin. I didn't last year. Send me to the documentary. You would have had me. And one person like me is going to make you rich. And there's a lot of us out there, guys. There's a lot of people of influence out there that think big. Like, not everybody is mainstream thinkers. That you only need the 1 out of 20 that want to be wealthy. They want to live a good life, but you can't keep your mouth zipped up.
True. That's why we want to make the mechanism as easy for you as possible. Help you push through that anxiety. Once you get the hang of it, you won't be able to stop. So, first of all, Daryl, thanks.
Courtney asked, what was the documentary? Banking on Bitcoin. Have you seen any, John, that you liked? That one got me.
There's some wonderful ones. I'm going to watch Banking on Bitcoin. I haven't seen it yet.
It's a little old now. I watched it last year. It turned me around. I was just like, man, I have been missing the boat.
That's neat. Daryl, thank you very much for the feedback. And thank you very much, Hazel, as well. So James asked, okay, so as soon as the calculator came out and we got just a hint of how popular it was going to be, then the following day I sent a message to our development team. Can we have multiple calculators and multiple currencies? So that's in reference to your Great British Pound question. So I'll have an answer for you ASAP. Hey, Sebastian. Europe, I'll have some dates locked down fairly soon. And I appreciate your option or your offer for translation, et cetera.
Someone asked, John, when will other languages be available, and what about a trip to Europe?
So I'm not sure if you're referencing that video. I do have the video getting subtitled in a few different languages. One I've started right now. That's Thai, by the way, Mike. And we absolutely can subtitle it in other languages. So I'll be on with Ron and Dave today discussing that.
Someone else, Mark asked, is there a video I can use for my own LCP? John, I'm wondering, I don't know, are you willing to give one of the videos out and for people to put on their own lead capture page? It seems a little risky. John, you froze up again. Froze up on us. There you are. You there, John? Check, check.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, did you froze up on us. Someone asked, is there a video they can use on their own lead capture page? And I'm thinking you probably don't want to give the corporate video to be all over the place on different pages.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I just don't know if a 10-minute video on your lead capture page is the right thing. You have to know.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my department. I don't know how effective it would be unless it's a personal relationship or something.
And if that's the case, if it's personal relationship, you just use your site.
It seems like then you could use your site is what I was going to say. Yeah, those that are in my organization, you have access to the funnels that we're using.
If everyone starts using the calculator and you start blowing it up the way that I think you're going to, then I will put together, the little commercial on with the little boy in the airplane, little 90 seconds. I'll put together something a little longer that just talks about Universal and the calculator.
Perfect.
Maybe 3 minutes long, something like that.
And those of you who've learned how to do YouTube videos, shoot a quick video showing people how to use the calculator, show them where to go on the site, and use that to send to people first to see if they understand and can start playing with the idea of compounding. And then lead them into, okay, now how do you get 8.5%? Lead them into the product video on the product page. Of course, those of you that I know a lot of you in my organization, it's why you're here, you can use our funnels, but then once you're creating that conversation, that's what you do next. Hazel wrote, it's exceptional. I've been posting it all over social media. Awesome. Gerald said the new video is great. Someone said, can you change the calculator to, and I guess that's a pound sign. I'm an ignorant American, so I don't know.
Yeah. I've referenced that already, and we're going. I brought it to the tech team already.
Okay, guys. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, John. If we missed your questions, I apologize, but of course we'll have a lot more of these. Again, just to kind of wrap up, and John, if you have any last comments, I just wanted to say I knew how to make a lot of money. I've made 7 figures, had a couple 8-figure years in revenue. I was keeping significant amounts of money for many years, but I was not knowing how to invest it. So whether you're talking to someone like that, and I lost 200 grand in silver, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on the stock market. I didn't have any clue what to do until Unifii. I lost tons of money in altcoins. Now I'm able to grow my Bitcoin, grow my cash. More importantly, I understand compounding on a different level. I'm able to ride this long term and get my money working for me. I truly believe in the mission and the vision of the company. It's really to put people in control of their own money, in control of growing their money, protecting their money. I believe it's extremely important. People need to learn to stop giving their Bitcoin away in these scams. I think people are jumping into those damn things because they feel anxious. They're scared. They don't have a plan. They don't know what to do. I feel an obligation to show them an option that's reasonable, that's conservative, and still is tapping into the power of compounding and leverage. So its results aren't conservative, except for in the area of protecting your money, which is a word you do not hear people talking about very much in crypto. And there's a reason, because usually they're trying to take it. So I just think on a lot of different levels, this thing is amazing, and it's something that we should be proud to be a part of. We shouldn't be closed-lipped about it. We do not have to convince anybody of anything. We're just letting them know of what's possible and what's available for them so they can make a choice. So that's all I have to say. And And John, just big thanks to you. You've been working hard behind the scenes to put all this together and make the tweaks. You listened to the field when they said, hey, we feel anxious about all these signals. So you created the universal signal. We've got David in the background. That's one thing, John, before we go, I want to address. We've got David in the background who's coming up with all the signal data and obviously all the details of how the signals are created and how they trigger is proprietary. I think it's important for everybody to understand Unifii owns the technology. They don't rent this out. They don't get the signals from somebody who's selling them to somebody else. This is in-house stuff. Ron's been doing this for years in the stock market, many, many years. Didn't get into crypto, started applying those skills to crypto 2 years ago. David's the genius with the numbers. He's crunching numbers all the time, and that's going to continue. That's going to continue. John, anything you want to add about that, just about the confidence that you have in the signals and how that's going to continue to evolve and the importance of having that in-house? I don't think people usually think about that very much, but in terms of being with the company.
Oh, it's critical.
Yeah.
It's critical. If we had a product cost, if we didn't manufacture everything ourselves, and if the corporate executives we're not prepared to run really lean and make sure we push all that money out to the rewards plan, we're not worried about the company making profit in the early days. We're continually to pump more into R&D and making sure we evolve our product line, because that's going to make us, unbeatable.
Exactly. And guys, that's why I'm so passionate. I know a lot of you, somebody posted the other day, Mike, you're working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, can you create a system that will work for us? Because I can't do that. Like, guys, first of all, I'm working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you guys don't have to. Like, I'm there talking to all of your prospects, doing calls like this. You don't have to do calls like this. Like, you just invite them. You know what I mean? You don't have to work like me. Other thing is, my goal is multiple 7 figures. And I know that I can do that with this company. Now, I've made 7 figures before, so that's where my mind's at. You don't have to be there. You don't have to work. You don't have to work like this. You don't have to get multiple 7 figures per year. But that's my personality. I climb the top of the mountain, and I love the journey. I love the challenge of it. That's me. It doesn't have to be you. You just have to know that if I can do that, if I can get to multiple 7 figures residually, and you got a guy who's done that repeatedly, so obviously there's something going on here, or why would I be doing that? Then maybe if you put in a few hours a week, you can get to 10, 20 grand a month. You look at the quality of people that are here, the past experience they've had, Shane, myself, John Kinnear, and just, if you don't have a lot of business success in the background, just know we're here and I'm working that hard to go after a monstrous goal because it's achievable here. And because I know that when I build it, it will be here to last. And that's something you do not find very often with a company this young. In fact, I've never found it before. So that's why I'm so passionate. That's why I'm working so hard. I'm also putting a lot of time into helping those of you tap into the cold market to do in addition to the simpler 3x3 strategy with going to people that you know. It's in addition to. I'm doing that so that you guys don't have to put funnels together and set up all the ads and learn all of that on your own. It takes extra time that I'm putting in to help you guys do it faster and easier. John, anything you want to say to close out?
Just that you, Shane, and I talked about just for maybe the next 10 days or so, doing a meeting every second day.
So one every 2 days, right?
I think so, just to help everyone get a little bit more comfortable with sharing the calculator and sharing the new deck. And so if someone wanted to just blast their business off over the next 10 days, put a couple of G's in their pocket, that's all they would do.
So, John, I'd like to start that Monday to get everyone prepared, let them know what the schedule was. That sound cool to you?
Yeah.
So starting next Monday, guys, and I'll have the schedule out, we'll do a call. John, my vision was to make this something that they could bring their prospects to. Do you agree?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So,
so what you do, and by the way, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say Monday, how about we have a call letting them know what to do, right? Like we'll go over again exactly what to do to leverage those calls. Then on Wednesday, we'll start the 10-day blitz. And every other day, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, we'll give you the schedule of exactly what time it will be. And from Wednesday and then 10 calls forward, which will be over 20 days, you'll be able to invite people to those calls to get this message a bit more concise, more condensed for people that are brand new and don't know as much as you guys do about all of this.
And you're going to get a 1 day off after the call, because if you have 2 or 3 friends on the call on the first day, then you're going to help them ensure they have 1 or 2 friends themselves on the call the next day. And then those people have 1 or 2 friends the next day, and so on and so forth.
Awesome, guys. So I'll prepare you for that. I got more information coming out to get you ready for Monday. Monday's call will reiterate what exactly to do, how to leverage those calls, and then I'll give you the schedule beforehand. So I know some of you in the UK, different time zones in the US, other countries, you'll be able to see which one signs up. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do a UK call every second, a Europe call every second day as well.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys soon. We're going to blast this thing off. I hope you guys join us. Talk to you later.